All right, let's dive into some interview prep. Getting ready for an import-export manager interview. Pretty cool career path.
It is, yeah. It's like being the central nervous system of global trade, making sure everything's flowing smoothly from sourcing to delivery, all while navigating like a crazy web of regulations and international relationships.
Okay, so you're telling me it's a bit more than just pushing paperwork. Sounds intense. We've got some great resources today to help you ace that interview. We'll cover typical questions, some expert insights, and we'll even take a peek at how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely, let's do it. So first, what does an import-export manager actually do? Day to day, I mean. They're not just, filing papers all day. They're building and maintaining the whole system for import-export transactions.
So they're kind of like the architect of how goods flow across borders.
Exactly. They're coordinating with suppliers in one country, handling customs in another, managing logistics partners across the globe. Fast-paced, detail-oriented, definitely not for everyone.
Okay, so it sounds like you need a certain personality to really thrive in this role. What are some of the big pros and cons someone should think about before jumping in?
Well, the pros, those are pretty sweet. High earning potential, for one. Chance to travel, experience different cultures firsthand, and, that satisfaction of playing a key role in global commerce.
Yeah, those are some serious perks, but I'm sure there's another side to this coin. What are some of the challenges?
Definitely. The workload can be demanding, long hours, especially when you're dealing with, time-sensitive shipments
Right.
or unexpected problems. Plus, there's that constant pressure of keeping up with regulations and navigating those sometimes tricky international relationships.
So it's not just about knowing the rules, it's about having the stamina to handle whatever the global market throws at you.
Exactly. Now, let's get into the heart of this, your interview. This is where RoleCatcher comes in. They have, get this, over 120,000 practice questions specifically for this role, plus AI-powered feedback to, perfect your answers.
Wow, 120,000 questions. That's a lot. Where do you even begin with that many potential questions?
Right. It's about understanding the themes. Focus on your skills, your experience. Show them your passion for import-export. It's not about memorizing. It's about understanding and thinking on your feet.
So they want to see you can handle the real world, not just textbook stuff.
Exactly. All right, let's look at a classic question. Tell me about yourself.
Sounds simple, but it's your chance to make a strong first impression.
Yeah, like the opening act at a concert. Gotta grab their attention.
That's it. Highlight your relevant skills and experience. Show your passion, how your strengths fit their needs.
So it's not just reciting my resume, it's about telling a story.
Exactly. Now, they might follow that up with something like, why are you interested in this specific role? This is where your research pays off.
Okay, so I gotta prove I didn't just apply to every import-export job I saw.
Ah, right. Research the company, their values, their products, their markets. Explain what excites you about their work, how your skills align with their goals. So I'm showing them this isn't just any job to me.
Right. Now let's say they throw you a curveball. What are your salary expectations? This one can be tricky.
Oh yeah, salary talk. Always a bit nerve-wracking.
Don't worry, it's about preparation. Research the typical salary range for similar roles. Think about your location, your industry. When you answer, give a range that reflects your worth but leaves room for negotiation.
Okay, so I need to know my value, but be flexible.
Exactly. Don't undersell yourself, but don't price yourself out either.
Got it. Now, how about this one? What are your greatest strengths as an import-export manager? Time to shine, right?
Absolutely. This is where you highlight what makes you stand out. Are you a master negotiator? A logistics whiz? A compliance expert?
Haha. Hopefully all of the above. But seriously, how do I choose which ones to focus on?
Look back at that job description. What skills are they looking for? Choose strengths that match those and back them up with examples.
So instead of just saying I'm organized, I could talk about a time I streamlined a complex shipping process.
Exactly. Quantifiable results are always better than vague claims. Now for the dreaded weakness question. What are your weaknesses? Feels like a trap, right?
It does, like they're trying to get me to admit I'm not good enough.
Choose a weakness that's not central to the job, and then spin it. Explain how you're working to improve. Maybe you're not great with tech, but you're taking online courses.
So turning a negative into a positive.
Yeah, show self-awareness and a desire to learn.
I like that. Okay, now for those behavioral questions. Like, tell me about a time you faced a challenging situation in import-export management. How did you handle it?
Ah, yes, the behavioral questions. These are all about your problem-solving skills, your decision-making, your ability to handle pressure. Remember, the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result.
Right, the STAR method. Can you remind me how to use it?
Of course. First, you describe the situation. Give them the context, the background of the challenge. Then, explain the task. What were you responsible for? What were the goals? Next, outline the actions you took, the specific steps. Finally, highlight the result. What happened? What did you learn?
So I'm basically telling a story that shows my problem-solving skills.
Exactly. Choose examples that are relevant to the role. Show them you can handle the challenges you'll face. Now, let's talk about a question that comes up towards the end. Do you have any questions for us?
Oh yes, the tables have turned. But for real, what are some good questions to ask?
Asking questions shows you're engaged, curious. Ask about their current projects, their challenges, their vision for the future.
So showing them I'm thinking about how I can contribute.
Exactly. You can also ask about the company culture, professional development, anything that's important to you.
Okay, so it's about gathering information, but also showcasing my enthusiasm.
Precisely. Now, all these great answers won't be as effective if you're not confident.
Yeah, I could have the best answers in the world, but if I'm mumbling?
Haha, right. Practice. Rehearse your answers out loud, alone or with a friend. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful.
Oh, tell me more.
You can use it to record your answers and get feedback on your delivery, your pacing, even your body language. It's like having a personal interview coach.
Wow, that's amazing. So I can do a practice run with AI giving me notes.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Now, before we move on, let's look at how RoleCatcher can tailor your answers for specific roles.
Okay, how does their AI go beyond just general feedback?
RoleCatcher's AI, it analyzes tons of job descriptions. It figures out the key skills and experience that employers want. Then it gives you feedback tailored to those specific requirements.
So it's like having a secret decoder ring for job descriptions.
Pretty much. It helps you show them you're the perfect fit.
That's awesome. Okay, back to the questions. What about this one? Describe your experience in managing international logistics and transportation.
Ugh, a classic. Here, focus on specific examples. Talk about different modes of transportation. Air, sea, road, rail. Show them you understand the challenges of each.
So not just saying, I've shipped things before.
Right. Talk about a time you had to choose between air and sea freight. Explain the factors you considered. Cost, time, the type of goods. Or discuss your experience with freight forwarders, customs brokers.
Showing them I know how the whole system works.
Exactly. Now, they might ask, how do you stay up to date with the latest regulations and policies? Here, you prove you're a lifelong learner.
Okay, because the import-export world is always changing.
Right. Highlight your proactive approach. Mention publications, websites, organizations you follow, online courses, anything like that.
So I could mention my subscription to the Journal of Commerce.
Perfect example. Or your membership in the NCBFAA. Webinars, conferences, anything that shows you're staying current.
So I'm actively seeking out information, not just waiting for it to come to me.
Exactly.
All right, this one always trips me up. Tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer or supplier. How did you resolve the situation?
Ah, yes, the conflict resolution question. They want to see your people skills, your communication, your professionalism. Focus on empathy, active listening, finding solutions.
So it's not about placing blame, it's about finding a resolution.
Right. Give them a specific example that shows you can listen to concerns, identify the root cause, propose solutions that work for everyone, and stay calm throughout the process.
Okay, so I'm showing them I can handle tough situations with grace.
Exactly. Now let's get a little technical. What are Incoterms and how do they play a role in import-export transactions?
Okay, time to show off my import-export knowledge.
Exactly. Start with a clear definition of Incoterms. Explain that they're a set of international trade terms. They define responsibilities for buyers and sellers, things like delivery, risk, cost.
So they make international trade more predictable.
Precisely. You can give examples of different Incoterms, EXW, FOB, CIF. Explain how they impact obligations.
Showing them I know my Incoterms.
Yes. Now they might ask, how do you ensure compliance with import-export regulations and minimize risks?
Okay, time to put on my compliance hat.
Right. Highlight your proactive approach. Explain how you stay updated on regulations, how you vet partners, implement controls, train your team.
So I'm not just following the rules, I'm going above and beyond.
Exactly. Mention any certifications you have, CCS, CITP, anything that shows your expertise in compliance.
Okay, so showing them I'm serious about ethical and responsible operations.
Exactly. Now let's talk strategy. How would you approach identifying and evaluating new markets for import-export operations?
Okay, time to put on my strategic thinking cap.
Haha, I like it. Explain your process for market research. How do you identify potential markets? How do you evaluate them? Talk about factors like market size, growth, competition, regulations, political stability, even cultural considerations.
So showing them I can think globally and assess opportunities.
Exactly. You can also discuss your experience with market entry strategies, building partnerships, navigating cultural differences.
Okay, so showcasing my ability to think strategically and build relationships.
Precisely. Now here's a curveball. What are some of the biggest challenges facing the import-export industry today? And how would you address them?
Ooh, a big picture question.
It is. It's about showing you understand the industry and can think critically.
Okay, what are some of the big challenges?
Well, there's geopolitical uncertainty, trade wars, tariffs, political instability, all creating volatility.
Yeah, the news is full of that stuff.
Right, and it can really impact supply chains and costs.
So import-export managers need to be adaptable, able to adjust their strategies.
Exactly. Then there's the rise of e-commerce. Online marketplaces and cross-border e-commerce are changing the game.
E-commerce is everywhere these days.
It is. It creates new opportunities, but also challenges in logistics and compliance.
So import-export managers need to be tech-savvy.
Absolutely. Another big one is sustainability. Consumers and businesses want ethically sourced products. They want transparency.
Yeah, I've noticed that shift towards conscious consumerism.
It's a big trend, and it creates opportunities for businesses that prioritize those values.
So import-export managers need to understand sustainability standards and supply chain transparency.
Precisely. And of course, there's technology, AI, blockchain, IoT. All these are transforming supply chains.
It's amazing how technology is changing the import-export world.
It is. It's creating opportunities to streamline operations, reduce costs, improve decision-making.
So import-export managers need to embrace technology.
Absolutely. Now, remember, you don't need to have all the answers to these big questions. They want to see how you think, how you analyze, how you problem solve.
Okay, so show them my thought process, even if I don't have a perfect solution.
Exactly. Now, back to a question you can ask them. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, my turn.
Haha, right. Asking thoughtful questions shows you're engaged. Ask about their priorities for the role, their current challenges, their vision for the future.
Showing them I'm thinking about how I can contribute.
Exactly. Ask about the company, culture, professional development, anything that matters to you.
Okay, so it's about gathering information, but also showing my enthusiasm and making sure it's a good fit.
Precisely. Now remember, even great answers can fall flat if you're not confident. Practice. Rehearse out loud, alone, or with a friend. RoleCatcher's AI can help you with that too.
Ooh, how so?
You can record your answers and get feedback on your delivery, your pacing, your body language.
Like having a virtual coach.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more natural you'll become. Now, let's talk about how RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answers for specific roles. It can analyze your responses and flag any potential red flags.
Red flags.
Yeah, things that might concern an interviewer. Inconsistencies, gaps in logic, anything that might raise eyebrows.
Wow, that's helpful.
It is. It can help you avoid accidental self-sabotage.
So it's like having a second set of eyes, making sure I'm putting my best foot forward.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some broader career insights. Our sources mention some certifications that can boost your credibility.
Certifications.
Yes, they show your commitment to professional development. They give you an edge in the job market.
I'm all ears.
Some of the most recognized ones are the Certified International Trade Professional, or CITP, the Certified Customs Specialist, CCS, Certified Export Specialist, CES, Certified Global Business Professional, CGBP, and the Certified Supply Chain Professional, CSCP.
Wow, that's a lot of options. How do I know which one's right for me?
It depends on your interests and career goals. Think about the relevance to your role, the industry recognition, the career advancement potential, and of course, the cost and time commitment.
So choose one that's relevant, recognized, and fits my goals.
Exactly. Now let's talk about networking. It's essential in import-export.
Yeah, relationships are everything in this field.
Right. Join industry associations, attend trade shows, connect on LinkedIn, go to local events, even volunteer your time.
So many ways to connect.
It's about building relationships, not just collecting business cards.
Right. Be genuine, be helpful, and make meaningful connections.
Exactly. Now let's talk about continuous learning. This field is constantly evolving.
Yeah, you could just rest on your laurels.
Exactly. Attend conferences and webinars, take online courses, read industry publications, engage in online forums, seek out mentorship.
So many great ways to keep learning.
It's about being proactive.
Right, staying ahead of the curve.
Now, beyond the technical skills, let's talk about soft
Oh
skills.
yeah, those are crucial too.
Absolutely. First, communication skills. You'll be interacting with people from all over the world.
Right, different cultures, different time zones.
Exactly. You need to be clear, concise, and culturally sensitive.
So it's not just about speaking the language, it's about understanding cultural nuances.
Precisely. Then there's problem solving. There will be challenges, delays, disputes. You need to think critically and find solutions.
So being a calm decision maker is key.
Absolutely. And negotiation skills. You'll be negotiating contracts, prices, timelines.
Finding that balance between being assertive and diplomatic.
Exactly. And finally, adaptability. This field is constantly changing.
You gotta roll with the punches.
Exactly. Be flexible, open-minded, and a lifelong learner.
Okay, so those are the must-have soft skills. Now, what about career progression? Where can this career path lead?
There are many possibilities.
Tell me more.
You could move into a senior management role, Director of International Trade, VP of Global Supply Chain.
So more responsibility, more leadership.
Exactly. You could specialize in a particular area, customs compliance, logistics, international marketing.
Becoming a niche expert.
Precisely. You could transition to a related field, supply chain management, global logistics, business development.
Using my skills in a new way.
Exactly. Or you could start your own business, an import-export company or a consultancy.
The entrepreneurial route.
Yes. It's all about hard work, continuous learning, networking, and a bit of luck.
Right. Being proactive and seizing opportunities.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the challenges and trends shaping the industry.
The import-export world is constantly changing.
It seems like it. What are some of the big things happening right now?
Well, there's geopolitical uncertainty, trade wars, tariffs, political instability.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with all the headlines.
It is. And it can really disrupt supply chains and increase costs.
So import-export managers need to be adaptable, ready to adjust their strategies.
Exactly. Another big trend is the rise of e-commerce. Online marketplaces and cross-border e-commerce are changing the game.
E-commerce is everywhere.
It is. It creates opportunities, but also challenges in logistics and compliance.
So import-export managers need to be tech-savvy.
Absolutely. And there's the growing focus on sustainability and ethical sourcing.
Yeah, consumers are demanding more transparency.
They are. It's creating opportunities for businesses that prioritize those values.
So import-export managers need to understand sustainability standards and supply chain transparency.
Precisely. Then there's technology. AI, blockchain, IoT, all transforming supply chains.
Technology is changing everything.
It is. It's creating opportunities to streamline operations, reduce costs, and make better decisions.
So embracing technology is essential.
Absolutely. And remember, globalization is also evolving.
It seems like we're moving away from a hyper-globalized world.
Right. There's more emphasis on regional trade and nearshoring.
So import-export managers need to be aware of those shifts.
Exactly. And of course, government regulations and trade policies are always a factor.
It's a complex landscape.
It is. Import-export managers need to stay informed about regulations and trade agreements.
It sounds like they need to be master jugglers.
That's a good way to put it. It's a challenging field, but also very rewarding.
Okay, let's talk about those rewards. What kind of salaries can import-export managers expect?
It varies a lot, but typically in the U.S., it's between $60,000 and $150,000 per year.
That's quite a range. What factors influence the higher end?
Experience is key. Location matters too. Big cities tend to pay more.
Right, supply and demand.
Correct.
What about industry and company size?
Some industries, like pharmaceuticals or technology, pay more. Larger companies with global operations also tend to pay more.
Okay, so experience, location, industry, company size. What about education?
A bachelor's degree is usually required, but an MBA or a master's degree can boost your earning potential.
So education is an investment.
It is, and certifications can also help.
Okay, so many factors to consider. It sounds like there's a lot of room for growth in this field.
There is. It's a dynamic field with lots of opportunities.
Okay, let's recap some key takeaways for aspiring import-export managers.
Okay, here are a few things to remember. First, it's a rewarding field with a global impact.
Right, a chance to make a difference.
Exactly. Second, success requires both technical and soft skills. You need the knowledge and the people skills.
That balance is important.
It is. And third, stay ahead of the curve. Embrace technology, understand trends, keep learning.
Be curious. Be adaptable. Be a lifelong learner.
Exactly.
Okay, back to RoleCatcher for a minute. Can their AI help me explore different career paths?
Absolutely. It can analyze your skills and interests and suggest potential paths.
Wow, like a career counselor.
It can also help you identify specific job roles that match your profile. It can even suggest skills you need to develop.
So it can guide you through every stage of your career journey.
Exactly. And they offer a free account to get started.
Fantastic. Okay, as we wrap up, I want to emphasize something important. Find a role that aligns with your passions.
Absolutely. It's not just about a job, it's about a fulfilling career.
Right. Finding something meaningful.
Import-export management can be that for you. It's a chance to connect with different cultures, contribute to the global economy, and make a difference.
It's a field with endless possibilities.
It is. Remember, with preparation, the right mindset, and the right tools, you can achieve your goals.
That's inspiring. Before we wrap up, I want to touch on something important. Your personal brand.
Oh, that's a good one. A lot of people overlook that.
Yeah, it's not just about the skills on your resume.
Right. It's about how you present yourself, especially online.
So it's about crafting a narrative, like a story.
Exactly. Think of yourself as a brand.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But how do I actually do that?
Be active in the industry. Share your thoughts on LinkedIn, write blog posts, join forums, establish yourself as an expert.
So going beyond just applying for jobs.
Yeah. Engage with the community. And be consistent. Make sure your online presence reflects your goals and values.
Okay, so consistency and authenticity are key.
Exactly. Now, there are some resources that can help. We've talked about RoleCatcher, but there are others.
Oh yeah, always good to know more resources. What else is out there?
Well, there's FITT, the Forum for International Trade Training. They have courses and certifications like the CIKP, and the NCBFAA, the National Customs Brokers and Forwarders Association of America. Great resource for customs compliance.
Okay, I'll check those out. What about online communities?
LinkedIn is a must. There are also forums and groups specifically for import-export professionals.
Right, like a global network. Okay, one last thought for our listeners.
Sure.
As you start your import-export journey, remember to be curious. Be adaptable.
That's great advice. This field rewards those qualities.
It's about embracing the challenges and the opportunities.
Exactly. Stay hungry for knowledge, build relationships, and don't be afraid to try new things.
Great advice. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into import-export management.
Thanks for joining us.
Remember, with the right preparation, the right mindset, and the right tools, you can achieve your goals. Good luck with your interview.